Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom, who tell the truth? Mark.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. When you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today I can't take it, so I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now, a weekend man, a monthly man, and a...
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su. Oh, Su.
How old are you?
I am 28, sir.
And where do you live?
In Kitty.
You own your own home?
Not as yet.
Apply for a house lot?
Not yet.
Well, sit down. You're not participating on the enhancement of your...
Racist, 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 you racist pig, you racist pig, you racist pig, racist.
President to the cabinet leaders, that they may come to know you as Lord and Savior. I decree, God, your peace. You know, you said pray for the peace, and I pray for the peace of Guyana. Lord, I pray for the Lord, I decree right now to give him wisdom. Give him wisdom to deal with international.
Racist, 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 racist.
How old are you?
I am 28, sir.
And where do you live?
In Kitty.
You own your own home?
Not as yet.
Apply for a house lot?
Not yet.
Well, sit down.
Racist, 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 you racist pig, you racist pig, you racist pig, racist, racist. You racist pig, you racist pig.
President to the cabinet leaders, that they may come to know you as Lord and Savior. I decree, God, your peace. You know, you said pray for the peace. And I pray for the peace of Guyana. Lord, I pray for the Lord, I decree right now.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Vietnam. And since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they
All right, good night and welcome to Straight Up. We're going to rock and roll just for about an hour or so. All right, what's happening in Guyana? I know a lot of you, you were those cricket lovers. I'm not, I don't watch cricket, to be honest with you. I used to love cricket when I was a little boy. That was a very, very long time ago when cricket was cricket. And the players played for us, not us. They play for a different kind of us these days. And there's not much passion into the game in playing for us versus playing for us, if you know what I mean. All right. So in other words, what I am saying to you is that back in those days, some of you may remember, some of you may have been around. It was Clive Lloyd, Viv Richards, and so forth. Clive Lloyd, Viv Richards, Desmond Haynes, Joel Garner. You will know that age group, right? And those guys played cricket. Now, I'm not saying there might not be a couple of talented folks right now. Don't get me wrong. But cricket seems to be a different itation, as they would say in Guyana. So it's a different itation, and it is what it is. Cricket has become even more politicized, 1,000 times politicized. And you have cricket matches where folks are going to, instead of watch cricket, instead of watch cricket, they basically go to listen to political messages. And that's what it's about, the political messages of these cricket. And the PPP has dominated it over the years. They do it. We don't see that sort of politicking in Jamaica. We don't see that sort of politicking in Trinidad and Tobago for the most part. We don't see it in Barbados. We just do not see it. Or even if it is there, it is just not as obvious as it is in Guyana. It is just not as obvious as it is in Guyana. Every single thing these guys politicize. They politicized weddings. They politicized funerals. They politicized cricket, football, soccer, whatever it is. That is what they do. Every single day in Guyana, that is what these Nimakarams do. Now, look at a cricket match. You would think that this is some sort of red beret ceremony, because a lot of you don't know that the PPP, that's part of their trademarks. Back in the days when they were running the tongue red, so to speak, in the 60s and so forth, running the tongue red. All right, so who would want to go to a cricket match to watch such a scene? Well, I don't mean the photograph of Irfan, but a political scene, a political comedy, a political comic show with these so-called politicians, Irfan, Jagdeo, making a mockery of situation. And people are laughing at them. People don't, it's not a case where you have people who are the head of the government, whether they're these so-called leaders. It is not to say that these so-called leaders can't go and attend a cricket match or a soccer or whatever. I'm not saying that. But when they go, they want to stop the show. Irfan goes with a helicopter to stop the match, to stop the show from going on, because he believes that he is bigger, and I really do mean bigger than the show. So he jumps in your helicopter, the taxpayer's helicopter, and he goes to a cricket match. He flies over the cricket match. He lands right there and stop the cricket match because he wanted to send a message. It's a political message that he has arrived, that King Kong has arrived, and everybody must stop and clap for King Kong. King Kong has arrived. Stop what you're doing. Poor plantain chips man had to stop selling his plantain chips. Stop selling his plantain chips. Another youngster selling fudge had to stop selling the fudge because King Kong has arrived. I repeat, King Kong. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at King Kong. The real King Kong of Guyana. That is what they are. King Kong. And look at him. He stands there. His bodyguards, or whatever you call them, they're all there. And again, take a look at their red beret. I don't know what's the significance of that, other than the PPP used that back in the days to run the place red. Lots of folks were assassinated in the 60s, compliments of the PPP regime. And so the red beret, those of you who are around those days, or probably read the history, you know the significance in the PPP, in PPP Guyana. In PPP Guyana, the significance of the red beret. Other countries, they may have a different, it has a different meaning attached to it. But in Guyana, under the PPP, it signifies murder, run the place red. And so the guards of Irfan Ali, this is what is happening in your country. What sort of things? Who's there really to question them? All right, so the cricket match, the team is owned by either they say it's Barra Jagdeo who owns the team, and his friend Bobby Ramroop. Well, we know Bobby Ramroop officially owns it, but we don't know who chipped in behind the scene, whether it's Jagdeo chipped in behind the scene, and all manner of things. And so the cricket couldn't have been a successful cricket. The team could not, and this is nothing personal, but the players, I don't know who most of the players, I don't know who they are because I didn't watch the game. And I'm not energized to watch the game, especially when it's owned by someone who is very close to Barra Jagdeo and receives billions, hundreds and hundreds of millions of taxpayers' monies through pharmaceutical, to pharmaceutical contracts to bring in pharmaceutical drugs to Guyana. And so, those are the people they use their media houses, whether it's Channel 28, whether it's Guyana Times. They use it not for any good purpose, but basically to attack more than half of the population in the country. And that is what's going on. And so many of you who have gone to the cricket match and sat there and clapped, oh yeah, and paid your money. I've heard some people boasting and bragging that they paid $25,000, $20,000, $15,000 to enrich the oppressors. That is what you do. You spend your money to enrich the oppressors. So the oppressors are richer. And you gone and you crying and all because some guy, they call it Guyana Amazon warrior lost and all kind of thing. Look at who owns those things. Look at who owns them. And then you'll understand why they lost. Look at who support them. Take a look. And then you understand why they lost. Just take a look. Take a look around us to the people who were masquerading themselves at the cricket match. Nobody has gone to a cricket match to see these creatures. Nobody wants to see these creatures in whether it's a cricket match or in general. Nobody wants to. But they go there, and it's got to be lights, camera, action. All focus must be taken away from the cricketers. Distraction and all these things. They don't know how to go in the VIP booth or whatever it is to sit and watch the cricket match like dignified human beings. Well, that they are not. And by now, we all should know that, right? But they want to walk around. They want to compete with the plantain chips man. You know that guy that got his stuff on his head and he wiggle and he tickle and he just to get a little sale? Honest business. I respect those kind of guys who are walking around selling and so forth. But these chaps were walking around selling. But they weren't selling plantain chips or fudge or pullory. Something else. They were selling blind dreams, fake dreams to the Guyanese people. That is what they do. And it's a shame and disgrace. Again, nothing personal to the owners. Not the owners, the cricketers, but something personal to the owners. I can't see myself supporting anything that the oppressors are part of. It doesn't mean that I have not gone into stores that are the owners are supporters of a political party, whether it's PPP or whatever. That is all okay. And now I'm not saying because you find out that some store in Queens, the owner is a PPP, that you shouldn't go there. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. It is okay to support a party of your own, a political party of your own. But it's when you are going to do things to oppress people, that is when it becomes a problem. And I hope you guys get the distinction there. So, still on the cricket, earlier during the course of the game, another political message. And that political message, of course, a distraction, lots of things happening in the country. This permanent secretary still, according to information, still is on the paybook, still receiving taxpayers' monies. You have lots and lots of drugs in the country, exporting fake airstrips and all these different things in the country. Daily blackouts upon blackouts upon blackouts upon blackouts. And so the distraction is usually there, and it's pretty obvious. Well, I said pretty, but, sorry that I use that term with having, I don't know why Lemon put that up there, but it's pretty obvious what's happening in the country. Even at a cricket match, such an embarrassment. They weren't prepared for anything. These pacus in the PPP who are running the country are never prepared for anything. Every single thing is about corruption and some sort of catastrophe. It happens every single day. And it's not a situation where we could flush whatever catastrophe and bad things down the latrine pit. Well, of course, you can't flush a latrine pit. And you know, when you don't flush a latrine pit, or you can't flush whatever, everything is right there, still right there. That what you're looking at right there makes up the current government of Guyana. That what you're looking at right there makes up the current cabinet. And they oversee policies and so forth that are so messy right there, right there. And so the stench, oh my gosh, it's horrible. It is horrible. The stench coming out of there is horrible. Now back to this cricket match. Oh, so the distraction and inserting politics. It's basically to say that all those people, and I want you guys to read between the lines when these Pakus speak. They're not the smartest at all. They're not very smart people. They think they're smart, but they're not smart. And so when she said, when Priya Manik-Chan said that it was Jagdev Stadium, she wasn't kidding. She meant every word she meant, because she was sending a political message. And watch it. Before next elections, 2025, when they are definitely going to be kicked out of office, they may possibly push to rename Providence Stadium Jagdev Stadium. Apart from that, though, the primary reason she mentioned that it was Jagdev Stadium, it's because of the many people who were there. And she wanted to give the impression that, oh, the people so love them, the people so love the PPP, that is why they're there. Or maybe it was a Freudian trip. What she meant was that it's Jagdev's Warriors, it's Jagdev's, he's the one that owns the team. Maybe that's what she meant. But anyways, most of you guys were busy watching Plantain Chips Man dancing. I saw somewhere on Facebook the guy dancing with something on his head, or you were there, you saw some of the folks who were watching cricket. I don't know, sometimes, I don't know, I checked out some of the folks who were there. You had Joel had a sign. Many of you know Joel. And then you had all those folks. To me, it was a spectacle. It's not like back in the days at Albion Sports Ground. You've gone there to watch cricket. You enjoyed the cricket. You enjoyed it there. I don't know much about Border. I went there once, but more Albion kind of guy. And you sit down and you're watching the cricket, and this is the spectacle. This is it, a comedy show. Charan Das walking in with a purse over his shoulder. Oh my gosh. He looks so nice with that purse over his shoulder, right? Anyways, what else is happening? What else can we talk about? We're hearing that this this Paku here might be going to court. This Paku might be going to court and should be going to court. Might be going to court and should be going to court. Because what we saw and what we heard, the victim, he is not, this guy here is not the victim. He is not the victim. The victim defended himself. And this is what ended up with this guy. This guy is not the victim, but he was badly beaten. He was badly beaten. And some people may say karma, but he was badly beaten. He ought to go to court. They ought to charge him. The other guy, from what we heard, is obviously the other guy had to defend himself. They tried to take advantage of the guy, and they took advantage of the guy. And even under the situation or circumstances, this Paku still got beaten up badly. Badly. No word of mouth, badly beaten. Badly. All right, and then threatening to throw the guy in the car trunk. Seems to be the going thing right now. Car trunk. Pick up people, throw them in the car trunk. A PPP thing, a PPP gang thing. Several persons are currently missing in Guyana, and they may have been thrown in a car trunk, taken to wherever it is, shot and killed and buried, and then their senior policeman is said to be covering up for the gangsters them. I want you guys to take a look as we move on to something else. Move this Paku from off the screen. We're on to something else. These guys, one of them may very well become the next commissioner of police, because this is what the PPP wants, right? They want to put someone there that they can control. And topping the list of that is Kareem Bach. You have Budram and these guys. Budram is at the bottom far left, right. Budram's name is calling. It is alleged that Budram, who is tipped, one of them tipped to become the next commissioner of police, Budram's name is there. And it is alleged that Budram has a connection. Well, we know, you decide which other ones there have, they have direct links to the underworld. You guys call some names there. You might, you guys know more than I do, but they are connected to the guys in the underworld, the money launderers, the drug lords, you name it. I'm not going to call any of their names. All of them may not be connected, but you guys know the answer. Now, if it is true that Budram made contact, or Budram is the guy. Now, again, I want to make this clear. Surely, I'm not saying that Budram did what is being alleged, but thus far, the Guyana Police Force has not issued a statement. We don't know whether an investigation was launched. And for those of you who probably missed it, it is alleged that these 5 suspects who are wanted for the disappearance of a young man from South Rumvelt, I believe, the guy was picked up in broad daylight, kidnapped. Here is it. Let's take a look. All right, picked up. The cameras are there to see every single thing. The cameras are there. They can't pull a shaggy and say it wasn't me. The cameras are there. And these guys were so brave to just go and do what the camera says based on the footage. The camera says it's them. They were so brave. Why do you think these guys or guys in Guyana who do certain things are so brave to do it? You think they're really brave to do it? It is because they know that they will be protected. And so they will go out and do what Massa said. Go and pick up this person, go and do, and that is what guys do in Guyana. So take a look. So it is alleged that the young man that was kidnapped, because there was no picking up, it was kidnapped. That guy was kidnapped and taken to a particular village. Well, the police went into Buxton, and then they now went into Annandale, Annandale and Buxton. But they didn't find anything. However, on the night that the young man was kidnapped and then taken to the village of Buxton, where the last connection based on the phone tracking device picked him up, picked his phone signal up, in Buxton. Now, that's a fact based on what the police have to say. So if their signal picked up the guy's phone, the kidnapped victim's phone in Buxton, that is where they headed. On their way to Buxton to search the village for that body or the young man, we're told that he basically got shot right there and that's it. Now the police got information and were heading to Buxton when, according to information, a senior policeman called the search off. A senior policeman, called to stop. The guys were on their way, according to information, mind you, to conduct a search in the village of Buxton. And it is alleged that Budram, right there, Budram, it is alleged that Budram, and mind you, Budram was commander when there was another, the submarine cocaine bust. You guys remember that? Submarine cocaine bust. And then there was a plane. And suddenly, every time there is this mysterious plane at some mysterious airstrip, illegal airstrip, it is always the story of the runaway. Occupants of the plane ran away. So the submarine situation, maybe one day Budram can explain exactly what happened with that submarine situation. Maybe one day. But it is alleged that Budram, the senior cop, Budram, assistant commissioner of police, called the search off. It is alleged. There should be an investigation. The investigating ranks should be questioned, and there should be an independent probe to find out whether Budram or any other member, senior members of the Guyana Police Force, be it the acting commissioner of police or whomever else, made a call to the police to call off the search for this kidnapped victim. And so far, the acting commissioner of police is so silent. Nothing on the matter. And when they remain so silent about this serious allegation that's leveled against a senior rank of the Guyana Police Force, then someone out there in the audience or somewhere in Guyana, wherever you are, might be asking the question, is this true? That a senior police officer, and not just a very senior police officer, made a call to stop the search that was on the way on the very day that young man was kidnapped. Hicken needs to answer questions. And I'm asking this question here tonight, assuming that Hicken, the controversial Hicken, the acting commissioner of police, is watching, or whomever at CID headquarters, Caesar, whoever is watching, can state whether they have started an investigation to determine whether the allegations are correct or not. That a senior member, very senior member of the Guyana Police Force is connected to a drug gang in Guyana? Or can the acting commissioner of police say whether he instructed any one of his officers to call the search off? Hicken should also tell us that. And Hicken should also say to us whether he is connected to any of these suspects, any of them, whether he knows them whether he personally issued firearm licenses to any of them, Hicken, or their boss or bosses. Hicken must also state his connection. Now, this is the same Hicken that Gail Teixeira and the PPPC, they're telling you that crime is done. And they're not only telling you that lie, that crime is done, and that this man, Hicken, is responsible for crime going down. Now, which world are these guys living in to suggest that crime is done? But hear the trickery in all of this. They're using that in order to justify their promotion or confirmation of Hicken. Don't be fooled. He's already confirmed. It's just a matter of time before they invite him over to State House or Office of the President for him to receive his instrument. And when he does that, you're going to see he's going to smile while Irfan Ali is handing him his instrument and all manner of things. And they're going to praise him. Typical PPP propaganda. And so the trick in this now is to say there is this urgency now to confirm Hicken. There's an urgency right now. Oh, we have to do it according to the PPP. And anytime you see the PPP rushes to get something done, understand the reason why. There's always a sinister reason behind that. This is a man who worked so hard for the PPP, not for the country. And so they want to pay him back. It's a bonus. And so Hicken is getting an early Christmas bonus. Early Christmas bonus. Because they want him to get all of his pension packages, every single thing. And that is why they're using the key thing in Gail Teixeira's letter, national, in the interest of national security. And so they want to use that now to confirm Hicken. It's a national security interest that they confirm Hicken. So the opposition guys, the opposition leader, and all of them could talk and now till cows come home. Whether the cows coming home from Pleasant, the cows coming home from Sophia, the cows coming home from Weldad, Hopetown, Belladrum, Belvedere under quarantine, Albion under quarantine, Manchester, Liverpool, Wim, wherever, Philippi, Cromarty, Wellington Park, Tarlogy, it doesn't matter. And even in Tongue, them guys get cows now. I'm not talking about most of those cows in Parliament. Yeah. So that is what they intend on doing. The confirmation has already been sealed. It's done with. And so it's just a matter of time for Hicken to head over to the office of the president or State House for that official ceremony. That is what it is. Meanwhile, cocaine plane, again, another cocaine plane. You're telling me that Jack Dale and Irfan and all of their men are in the bush. They go into, well, you don't call it the bush anymore. So my apologies to guys who live in the interior. Small days, we used to call it bush. Oh, we're going in the bush. It's no longer bush. The same place y'all call bush, brighter than some spots on Flatbush Avenue, brighter than some spots on Church Avenue. Speaking of some spots at Church Avenue, some spots are just blight. Some spots are just blight on Church Avenue. Stay away from those spots that are blight. You know what I mean? Stay away from them, those blight spots. And so while they're rushing to confirm Hicken, guess what? The cocaine coming in more and more from whether it's Venezuela, whether it's Colombia, those mysterious aircrafts. Those mysterious aircraft, and I'm speaking directly to Hicken, since they're talking about crime down and Hicken is the man. Hicken and solve no crime. Most of the big crimes in Guyana have not been solved. It's not like they can't solve those crimes, you know. It is not like they don't know who the players are, those bad hombres. It's not like they don't know. They know, but they just do not want to solve those big crimes. The reason why those big crimes cannot be solved, it is simple. Do the math, 2 and 2 together. It is because the big crimes in the country, they're being committed by folks who are connected to very senior members of the Guyana Police Force, or they are connected to very senior government officials or PPP officials. That is why those big crimes cannot be solved. Do you think the recent kidnapping of that young man is going to be solved? If that crime is solved, some people in the PPP government will go down. If that crime and other crimes are solved, very, very senior police officers in the Guyana Police Force will go down. It is a matter of fact. And so for them to try to put a bunch of flowers around this guy Hicken, praising Hicken for God in heaven knows what, but we all know why. So they got to give him. They got to confirm it and say thank you. Thank you for doing a lot of dirty work. And that's according to the man in the street. They use that term, dirty work. It is for Hicken and his gangs in the PPP to figure out whether he did any dirty work for them or not. No, I'm not saying that he did dirty work for them. People are saying that. The question I'm asking, is that true or not? And so, back to this airplane. Why is it, guys? And I'm gonna ask this question here. Why is it every time, every single time, you hear about some airplane just suddenly hop into Guyana, and then we hear that it's, all these illegal airstrips. The PPP knows, the police know of all these illegal airstrips, but yet nothing is done to expose and to shut down those illegal airstrips. Absolutely nothing is done. You're telling me, even if we want to describe the area as the bush, you're telling me the police, the investigative team at CID or wherever it is, CISA and Planum and all these guys do not know about these illegal airstrips. All they know about is airstrips and ignoring the airstrips. How is it, guys? Now, it's not difficult to do the math. How is it that they don't know where these airstrips are, but yet they say that there's a lot? The reason why, come on, let's do the math. The reason why it is because they are protecting their friends in the underworld, their drug lord friends who have bunches of hooligans that are working with them to do dirty work, whether it's murdering citizens, whether it's kidnapping citizens, all manner of things. And so it's a big gang. Not just the guys who are accused of kidnapping, it's a big gang. Those guys are just what you call eventual collateral damages. It's a big network, consists of police officers, politicians, and so-called businessmen. That is what is happening in Guyana. And so you don't expect that they are going to go out looking and that they are going to find these illegal airstrips. It is not in their best interest to find the illegal airstrips, because every plane drop, Senior police officers make millions of dollars. So for them, it's not profitable to shut those airstrips down. And they're not going to shut those airstrips down. But what they're going to do, they're going to jump in some boat, go up the Berbice River and go into those areas. And guess what they're going to do? Oh, they just found a ganja farm. And they are going to burn the ganja farm because the ganja farm is not connected to them. They are going to burn the ganja farm. They're going to take photographs and they're going to say, oh, we just found a ganja farm. Sometimes it's not even a ganja farm. The people might just get a couple of small plants, ganja plants, and going after those people to bother them. Break up their crops, burn it down. And that's what's happening. They're more eager to go after ganja farm. Burn the farm. Burn the people farm down. But they're not going to spend the same set of money or less to go after, they're not going to do it, to go after those illegal airstrips. They're not going to do that because, like I've said, it's against their own interests. So they're not. And ask yourself this question. Why is it? Because they think people are pakus. They think all Guyanese or most Guyanese are pakus, and they are the smartest. Why is it? And listen for a moment and answer this question. Why is it that every time this airplane pops out of God in heaven knows where, and then they take a photograph and they say, an illegal airstrip has been discovered. Here is a plane. But an investigation, right? This massive investigation, according to the police force and the CANU, if they're dealing with intel and they got there, why is it, here is the question, why is it every single time it's the same story that the people from the plane, when the police got there, the people ran away. The people ran away. The people ran away. Read between the lines. The people ran away. The submarine, the people ran away. The illegal planes, people ran away, ran away. Always the same situation. That is why overseas law enforcement agencies do not share information with the Guyana Police Force. They do not share certain information with the Guyana Police Force, I should say. And they do not share certain information with the Guyana Police Force. And you know why, right? For obvious reasons. They just do not share the information. And now let me ask you this question here. Why is it that when they go up the Berbice River or wherever it is, because some hard-working Rastaman planting watermelon, okra, bora, he might put a little, ganja plant, right? He might put a little ganja plant, but they go and they burn everything down, and we never get a report that a man planting ganja, upon seeing the police, all of them run away. Nobody runs away from them when it comes to ganja plants. They always round up everybody on the farm, grandmother, grandmother, grandfather, uncle, auntie, picnic, everybody they round up. But they can never round up. They can never round up anybody from those planes, those illegal planes in the illegal airstrips. And so they're going to come to you and say that mysterious plane. That is what they do. I know how you guys feel because we're all feeling the same way. Sing along.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They done drive down.
That is so true. The people are fed up. The people are so fed up of almost everything. The people are fed up of the cricket match. The people are fed up of soccer, everything, even culture. People are fed up. Let me see if you guys know this gentleman. And this gentleman has stood up for all of the folks in the cultural and arts field. This is what you call a brave man. Let me see if any of you recognize this gentleman, this patriotic Guyanese. We just got a few minutes more, guys. Don't look. Oh, Joan McDonald says something. I'm not sure if she's right. Let me see if anybody else can recognize this young man. This patriotic Guyanese. This patriotic Guyanese, I bet if I put Vibes Cartel, enough of y'all would have done say Gaza Boss, Gaza Boss, Gaza Boss. Deborah Williams is correct. Somebody said Mr. Dennis. Who's the man? Who said Dennis? Boss man, believe. All right, so Stan Greaves. Yep. Stan Greaves did something. He's basically saying that the PPP, when it comes to arts and culture, doesn't mean well, but especially my interpretation of what he's saying. But he has called for the resignation of the Minister of Culture. Thank you, Faye Chumley Brown, and all of you guys. You guys are bright, bright people. And based on your answers, I know that you guys would never, never be former students of IFLOT University. Never. You guys are too bright. Now, Stanley Greaves is calling for the resignation of the controversial Minister of Youth, Sports, and Culture. And I support Stanley on this. I support the Shadow Minister of Sports as well and Culture, Nima Flubes, who also called for the resignation of Ramson Jr. Right-thinking and right-minded Guyanese will join in this call for the resignation of Ramson Jr. Ramson Jr. has to go. Not because of, if you take a look who he's surrounded by, whether he goes into certain villages and he's surrounded, take a look who he's surrounded by. Y'all know who he's surrounded by. And it is not to say that people outside with microscopes looking into Guyana aren't aware of those who he's surrounded by, right? It is not. But he needs to do the right thing or be forced to do the right thing, which is to resign. And that is why we've got to support the call for his resignation and support the call by the Shadow Minister of Youth, Sports, and Culture, support the call of Mr. Stanley Greaves, who is on the screen right now, call for the resignation of Ramson Jr. In any other country, hundreds or maybe thousands of citizens would have been in front of Ramson's office. Would have been in front of Ramson's office. And, you know, were I in Guyana, I would have been tomorrow morning in front of Ramson's office with a placard calling for his resignation. whether they are people who don't like protest and all this falsehood about protest and why protest isn't effective, I would have been there as the lone protester. Forget about who don't support protests now and who suddenly know that protest isn't effective and all sort of trash. But Ramson Jr. has to go. He has to go. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has got to go. And I hope others will join Stanley Greaves. I hope others will join those who have called, publicly called, for the resignation of Ramson Jr., including Shadow Minister of Youth, Sports, and Culture, Nima Flubes. Ramson Jr. must go. I repeat, Ramson Jr. must go. All right, what else is happening in your neck of the woods as we prepare to wrap things up, or should I go for another hour? You guys tell me. Now, this is a guy who is passionate about arts in Guyana and culture in Guyana. He's passionate. Unlike some of y'all, those who know a guy named, he's now known as the BAT, SHIT expert, Ruel Johnson. He is known as the BAT SHIT expert. But notice how silent he is on that matter with Ramson and the administrator of Burroughs School of Arts and all these things. He is silent. But when giants speak, cockroaches and ants have to step aside. And this giant has spoken. And so we're not going to hear anything from the B8, the BAT SHIT expert, right, Roxanne? The BAT SHIT expert, Ruel Johnson. We're not going to hear from him because he knows that if he speaks out like this giant, Stanley Greaves, he knows that cat eat. Well, even if we, okay, that's something about that statement and Ruel in really adding up. But anyways, I'll say it. Cat eat his dinner. He is gone. He has nothing to stand on. Absolutely nothing to stand on. So these sort of things he's quiet about. But anything when it comes to the opposition and this, he's going to write, he's going to curl up his pen and all manner of things. But the main set of things, the BAT SHIT expert can't say nothing. He can't say nothing. He tail fall up, right up, straight up under his legs, right? He can't say nothing. Can't say maybe walk into Pradoville to there, meet Jack Dave at his house, plan stuff at his house and at Jack Dave's house and then come back. But he can't say nothing. But these are the folks who want to give y'all the impression that they mean well for country. They don't mean well for country. They mean well for themselves. They mean well for themselves. Y'all know how to interpret that. They don't mean well for country. They mean well for themselves. It's all about a food. It's all about a small brown bag. That is what it is. That is what it's about. Don't be fooled. Elections coming around the corner. And I'm saying to all you, do not be fooled by some of these guys who pretend that they mean well, but instead they're basically they meal well, fighting for a food, fighting for fried rice and so forth. And so tonight I want to take this opportunity to salute this patriotic Guyanese, Stanley Greaves, sorry. Salute this patriotic Guyanese. This is the guy who knows about culture. These are the type of folks who should be the cultural czar in Guyana. Not but S-H-I-T Ruel. No, Ruel wouldn't call out the minister. Call out the minister. He probably right now writing a speech for the minister or helping the minister write a speech. That is what's going on. Anyways, what else is happening in your neck of the woods as we prepare to wind things down, right? Something else I want to talk about. Yeah, this before I leave. The opposition needs to speak out more on this issue. We need answers. It's like the opposition, so many things. Every day is a controversy. So I could understand everything they got to fight. They got to fight. They got to fight more. They got to fight more. They got to fight more. But look at this here. Questions need to be asked. Permanent secretary sanctioned by U.S. still on leave, receiving pay. This matter should have been taken to court and the books taken to court to find out whether it is true or not. Whether it is true or not. And if she is on the payroll still, then something needs to happen to stop it with immediate effect. With immediate effect. Someone watching just sent me a death announcement. Right? Sorry about that, Nola. A death announcement. Maybe I should start running death announcements because every single day is something in Guyana. Condolences to the relatives of Mark Anthony Austin. Condolences. All right, so as we continue, we need answers on this here. We've got to get answers on this here. Is she still getting a salary? And if so, why? Then the court should stop. The opposition, they got to get some bright lawyers, especially at Congress Place. They got to stop this here. And all of the monies, the month's salaries that she has received, she got to pay it back to taxpayers. It has got to stop, guys. Got to stop. Before we go, I noticed a comment from someone who said, is Jermaine Figueroa, member of parliament, is he going to speak out about these things and Ramson and call for Ramson's resignation or something? Is he going to say something? Jermaine, now, a young man, lots of energy, lots of energy, always in a haste to respond or to say something when we call for boycott of certain businesses in the U.S. here. Oh, he penned something in school. Oh, no, don't do it. Don't do it. But you notice how these guys are usually silent on very important matters? Is Mr. Figueroa, member of parliament, is he going to write a letter calling for the resignation of Ramson Jr.? Is he going to join that call? In fact, I may call the young man, the MP, and ask him whether he's willing to join the call for Ramson to resign. Mr. Figueroa, if you're watching, maybe let us know whether you join that call. I don't know whether he joins the call or not. I'll take another look at your comments and just say, hey, I acknowledge your comments. And with that said, isn't it time to pull the curtains down? We've had another, energized 1 hour. But for now, I've got to go. And I ask you guys to read between the lines. Don't read the politics wrong. Read between the lines, guys. Read between the lines. I read somewhere that the AFC, they're now talking about other options and all manner of things for GCOM. The only option that the PPP and the folks at GCOM will listen to is mass protest. Mass protest. When they see, and this is to the AFC guys, them nice words and fancy words and good, but when those you're calling for on the outside to help fix your problem inside, the first thing they're going to ask for is, what is it that the people are doing in Guyana? They're not doing anything. The only time outsiders want to help is when they see the folks inside are doing something. And you cannot have just 8 people protesting. We don't see the leaders of the AFC or the leaders of political parties out there protesting because they don't believe in protest. And so they're going to find all sort of fancy jiggery-pokery thing to say that there should be pressure from with guys from the outside. Again, you want people from the outside to fix your system. And then when they try to fix your system and they get really involved with you, you said, oh no, outside interference. But outside interference when it's convenient for y'all, right? Not just those guys in the opposition. In general, the PPP is a past masters at that. And so when you ask people for help at GCOM, you got to be able to see that people in Guyana are standing up against what is happening there at GCOM. They're protesting against what is happening there at GCOM. The leader of the opposition should go in front of GCOM and protest as well. Nigel Hughes should go in front of GCOM and protest as well. And when Dr. David Hines goes back to Guyana, because he is one of the leaders of the WPA, and according to information, is the presidential candidate, they should go in front of GCOM, not just a one-day something, and all 3 of them should hold hands right in front of GCOM, because that's where the problem lies. I'm out of here. Listen to this here, and you'll understand why it is important to protest GCOM instead of depending from somebody from outside to help you out. Now, outside help is good at times, right? But it comes with a price. Now, before we go, I want you guys again not to fall for the trap of the PPP or those enablers, those who come pretending that they're on your side when in fact they're not. And stand up against the oppressive PPP regime. Hicken, it's time that Hicken says something about what he knows about that kidnapping. That young man that was kidnapped, taken, according to police information, the last time his phone rang or they traced his phone was in Buxton. Was he killed in Buxton? Was he buried in Buxton? And then they basically probably took his body somewhere else, burnt it. And the question is, what, if at all anything, the acting commissioner of police knows about that crime? And if he is aware that a very senior police officer by the name of Budram is alleged to have been involved in the calling off of that search. And that Budram, it is alleged, mind you, alleged that Budram was in contact with members of that gang. If in fact that is the case, well then Budram should be sent packing. But you can't send somebody packing based on what somebody said or somebody whispered. But the fact that they've been quiet from the time this rumor started, you guys in the audience do the math. The police force has been so quiet on this matter. We don't know whether there's an internal investigation. We just don't know. But the time has come for Hicken to call a press conference to answer to those serious allegations leveled against a senior member of the Guyana Police Force. And if there is no investigation, well then we could assume that there's a reason why it is a cover-up. And that cover-up starts all the way on top. A cover-up. We must get to the bottom of it. Hicken, you must speak out on this matter. I'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. And remember, if Mr. Nigel Hughes is watching, Mr. Aubrey Norton is watching, guess what? They need to protest. They can't just hide behind some fancy language about why protest isn't important and it's not this and it's not effective at the moment. All sort of jiggery pokery. Protests are important. And they are important now more than ever in Guyana. God bless you.
So if I got children, I must suffer them to take what I don't want to eat for myself. That is totally wrong.
What?
And the parents got to stand up.
Rhonda, I really thank you for taking time out. I'm not going to let you go now. I know you're a very brave person. You're out there in front of GCOM. We're not seeing a lot of people out there, but give us an update on the protest every week in front of GCOM.
Tuesday we had 8 persons. Literally.
One second, Rhonda. I kind of like, honestly, I like that laugh. I'm going to rephrase, I'm going to ask the question again. And
man, don't make me laugh, man. I tell you.
Rhonda, one second. One second, Rhonda. I'll ask you the question again. Rhonda, can you give us an update on the protest in front of GCOM?
Man, yes, 8 persons at the protest.
A reading from the Holy Bible, Psalm 115. Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us. Creole's version. O God, glory is not for we, but for you alone, because of your mercy and your love. So, why them godless people just say, it's where them God there? Are we God there in heaven? He do whatever he want to do. Them idol make with silver.
Look, check it. 2 more things. See that? Look, she's running with the food. She's running with it. She's running, yeah, good. Sandrine, you should never do that, you know. Why you say that?
Because I gotta rise y'all up. Because listen, the whole thing is that, right?
You mind a video, right?
No, yeah, I know. The president is welcoming to anybody, right? Listen, I'm with the press, and I have been doing this for every government of Guyana. I work, I when Grange was here, I walked down Church Avenue with him. I supported, what he was doing. I wrote about him. I featured him.
Right.
And I'm doing the same thing for this government.
But
why would people be hating on me? I'm
So
just
no.
kidding.
I don't think they were hating on you. I think it's what you said just now. You understand? Because the
I
truth
had to
is,
say something to get their attention.
no, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. But listen.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours a blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barretons too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty Waterloo. Pressure want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil